Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, the Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post, Lecha, is going to discuss facing the unknown. Because in this week's parasha, we start to read about the 10 tests that Avraham Avinu was challenged with by Kadosh Baruch Hu. And according to some Mefarshim, it begins in this week's parasha with the command of Lecha, being told to leave his home place, his birthplace, his homeland, his family, and to go off to an unknown location, to go off somewhere without an actual destination, a predetermined destination. He was told to leave, to just pick everything up, and a complete upheaval, and to leave. And although obviously where the family that he was living, his own family, and where he was living, seemingly on face value, objectively, it seemed to be a negative experience, a negative place for him to be in. But the Mefarshim explained that there was a challenge. It was a challenge to go off into the unknown, and all the challenges that he then went and faced, going into on this journey of challenges and tests, facing unknown difficulties and struggles. Of course, we know in hindsight, we know that Avraham Avinu was blessed and was rewarded for this clear show of Emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and following the commands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He became the father of Am Yisrael, the father of the Jewish people. In retrospect, it seems obvious, but at the time, we can say that Avraham Avinu was faced with challenges. Life is full of challenges, and here is a case in point. A perfect example of what it's like to live a life facing challenges, of what it's like to face the unknown, which begins with the clear description of this week's parasha, in the first psukim of this week's parasha, where he is clearly asked to leave and go off and face the unknown. And psychologically, this is very difficult. A lot of people find it difficult to face the unknown. It's not just the content or the nature of the challenge. It's not just the fact that Avraham Avinu, for example, faced 10 different challenges, 10 different tests. There's a transcendent concept here. There's a transcendent difficulty which is facing the unknown. Facing the unknown, going out of one's comfort zone, going into something where it's not clear exactly what's going to happen. It's not clear exactly whether you're going to be able to face these challenges and be successful. Facing the unknown is this overriding difficulty, this overriding challenge that people struggle with. And this is something which sometimes people can be focused more on the content, on the actual context and nature of the difficulty, and they try to find solutions. They try to rationalize perhaps the importance of succeeding and pushing themselves, maybe actually in a way forcing themselves through the challenge and the difficulty, which in certain situations perhaps that is what is appropriate, but in a lot of situations, forcing oneself, almost ignoring and not paying attention to the actual emotional difficulty, and just trying to force yourself through and find solutions to the challenge and to succeed and to have a one-track focus on the end goal, can be debilitating. It's important to have goals. It's important to have values. It's important to keep your eye and focus on the end product, on the end result. But if it is a sheer, in a sense, fixation and emotionally, in a sense, it feels like you're being forced to just ignore the emotions that you're experiencing, then success or achieving and overcoming the challenge the chances are reduced, are limited. The anxiety and the panic and the stress and the frustration becomes debilitating. And then a person will get stuck in this difficulty, will get stuck in this harsh challenge and almost impossible place of being scared of the unknown. The fear of the unknown can spread in every direction, in a sense that anything which seems slightly difficult, slightly challenging, where a person is faced with something which is a test, which puts them under pressure, it's in a sense it touches this sensor. It presses this button of the fear of the unknown and the debilitating emotion that one has has connected with and associated with this fear of the unknown, with facing these challenges. And therefore, it's important to actually give a place and give a time and a space to recognize the fear of the unknown, to recognize this challenge, what emotions it brings up, not the actual content of the test or the challenge or the difficulty that you're facing, but rather actually just this experience of being placed in a situation which is unknown, it's not familiar, going out of the comfort of one's comfort zone. What emotions does it bring up? What effects does it cause to the body? What physiological sensations does it cause in the body? What emotions and what thoughts come up? And paying attention to that, noticing the emotions and the thoughts and the physiological sensations, the effect that it has, and actually remaining with that emotion instead of, in a sense, being solution focused and goal focused. It's important to give time and acceptance to the difficulty of facing the unknown, to give that actual, in a sense, legitimacy, to give that validation that it's very difficult to face the unknown. This is a challenge that brings up such painful, in a sense, painful emotions, a sense of vulnerability, that it's hard to actually touch that. It's hard to give recognition to that. Person would prefer to ignore it. So the message of this post, this Torah and Psychology post, is really to actually give validation and acceptance to those feelings, the challenge, this overriding challenge of facing the unknown. And once a person is able to give acceptance and acknowledge that and to notice it and to work through and to give space to those emotions, they will be more prepared, better prepared to actually face the challenge and to succeed. Have a great Shabbos and keep well.